I give up. I tried so hard with Yooka-Laylee, but it was about the 13th hour of running around the ice level looking for the last few pages that I became nauseous from frustration and had to turn the game off. And yeah, I know, you need to finish the game to have a real opinion. Well, fuck that. My opinion of the game was formed in the first 2 hours, and it really didn't sway from that for the other 10 hours I played. So this isn't a review. It's more like a, I don't know, not review. But I'll call it a fuck it video because that'll get more views. Now, I'm not one of those nostalgia weirdos who's going to cry about how Yooka-Laylee isn't the proper spiritual successor it was meant to be. I played banjo-kazooie way back when, and you know what? I didn't really like it. It was fun at first for a few levels, then it just got tedious and repetitive. It's actually one of the few games I still have a physical copy of, and to this day I still can't bring myself to finish it. And Yooka-Laylee is the exact same way. It starts off well enough, the graphics are good, colorful, environments are interesting, controls are pretty good for the most part. The first level was pretty fun. I was able to memorize it well enough to actually know where things were and complete the little challenges to progress. Then you get to the second level and it's a whole different story. Suddenly everything looks the same, and there's caves all over the damn place taking me to who knows where. What happened to all the color and distinctive landmarks? It's impossible to tell where you've been and where you need to go. Then the third level is even worse. It really lives up to its name, Moody Maze Marsh. Because, well, it's a marsh, and it's a maze. Normally I'm a fan of mazes, but I don't like them when everything looks the same. It makes it, kind of impossible to tell where you are. And the fourth level is the absolute worst. I can't think of one memorable thing about it other than the over-reliance on these slot machines. It's not like they require any amount of skill, and it's certainly not fun. Now I could understand a couple of these as like a gimmick, but just look how many of them there are. It's like the developers just kinda gave up. The final area is where I quit. I just didn't care anymore. So other than kind of poor level design, what about the game is so awful? Well, it's one of those types of games where it's mostly about completing mini-games. You play golf, you get this little ball through a thing, you hit these slot machines 1,000 fucking times, and some of these are just awful, especially the arcade cabinet mini-games. It's pretty clear they are just slapped together. I wouldn't exactly call any of them fun. And it really sucks from a completionist point of view because I know I'm never going to try to get the pages from completing the challenge modes on each of these arcade machines. It's just not worth it. Now the pages serve as basically your puzzle pieces from Banjo-Kazooie or your stars from Super Mario 64. But unlike Mario 64, you don't really get clues for where pages are, and there are 25 of them in each level. So oftentimes it's more of a challenge to find the pages than the actual challenge you're supposed to complete to get them. Which means you spend hours and hours running around the same area for some clues as to what you're supposed to do next. And that's not fun, that's the opposite of fun. That's what I call RPG syndrome. You know, when you're playing an RPG, especially older ones, and you can't figure out what to do, so you just go through every building and every town talking to all the NPCs over and over, only to find out that what you had to do was buy some stupid item from a shop and put it in a specific place and then a tornado whisks you away or some shit. The game has odd character decisions. Most of the characters just don't really seem to fit or make sense. I don't really get what they were going for. You have a skeleton that doesn't really do anything, you have a cloud. How about this guy? He's like a suicidal shopping cart. Yeah, how about some more anthropomorphic animals? You know, things that feel like they actually fit into this world of anthropomorphic animals? Well, actually, Yooka-Laylee are pretty much the only ones, other than this guy. Trouser Snake. His name is Trouser Snake. Maybe they're the odd men out, though. Maybe it's actually a world of anthropomorphic inanimate objects. Boy, is that a mouthful. Also, snowplow. You can be a snowplow for some reason. I did it. Speaking of mouthfuls, yeah. So one of the main mechanics is that Yooka can lick things and get power-ups from them. It's kinda neat, but I can't help but feel it's going to fuel a whole new genre of furry fetish porn, especially with how much he seems to like licking balls. You gotta lick a lot of balls in this game. There seems to be a little bit of a communication problem with what skills do and what they say they do, specifically with the Sonic Burst ability, which reads that it breaks glass, which it doesn't. I thought my game was bugged when, after I got this ability, I still couldn't break these cracked glass objects that were very much begging for an ability to be used on them. But no, you're actually supposed to use a completely different ability. Another small conveyance issue I found was this one specific challenge which has you collecting papers for this little talking signpost. Yeah, that's a sentence you can say in this game. Anyway, in other levels, you do the task for the signpost and then he rewards you with a pagey. But after you collect all the shit he wants for this specific challenge, he doesn't give you a pagey. I couldn't figure out if it was just an oversight or if my game was actually bugged. And you know, it's not a good state for a game to be in when the player can't tell if the game is broken or if they just aren't doing something right. Another nitpick I had was with the flight ability. Even though you get it at the end of the game, it really does trivialize a lot of challenges in previous levels. And on top of that, the controls for it are horrible. They're delayed and then overreactive. It's like steering a boat. Maybe they did it on purpose to offset you now being able to cheat your way through all the platforming challenges in the game. Fix one broken concept by making controls even more broken. Genius. But overall, is the game bad? Is it as terrible as everyone on the internet claims it is? No, not really. It's fine, not great, but good enough. I can certainly see this having a certain fan base. Some people will like it. I think some people are just mad because they took out some lines of dialogue from JonTron because of who fucking knows what. Someone accused him of being a Nazi or something. Or they really just don't remember how boring Banjo-Kazooie actually was. And the only reason they liked it as much as they remember was because they were 10 and pretty much any video game blew their mind, and now they have nostalgia for it. Seriously, if you can, go back and play Banjo-Kazooie. Try to play it for more than a couple of hours. I don't know, maybe I just don't have patience for these slower paced games. Like I said before, the main problem with the game is that it's just boring. The reason this video took so long is because I was putting off playing it. Literally anything else seemed like a more enjoyable use of my time. I dreaded turning it on, and then when I did after a month of not playing, I gave up after 2 hours and started writing the video. So, I guess that's it. That's all I really have to say about Yooka-Laylee. Am I ever going to finish it? No. Not without consulting a guide or something. Now I'm off to play something else, I guess. Actually, I am curious about something. Yooka-Laylee. 105 results. I was actually expecting more. Wait, is that... Oh no. Anyway, I'm Kothorix, and you have a wonderful day.